Off the
Next,
duck.
okay.
Of course, we could roll off the duck. Good morning, folks. Welcome to Phoenix Business Exchange. This is the Bell's Corners edition on this fine Monday morning on March 18th. Welcome. And I think spring is coming around and it's chasing us around. So we have some great folks and great information to share today. And you know what? I'm going to start off with the information session because our expert in-house coach, Mr. Mike, over to
Great.
you.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you. Morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a nice weekend. So I want to talk about that today is there are two kinds of people, the ones that can see the big picture and the ones that can't. And the world needs both breeds. Big picture people lead, those who can't follow. Excuse me. If you're a big picture person, you connect the dots of everything that surrounds you. Do you see the pattern where everybody just sees a blur? Do you see the possibilities where others just see problems? Do you act while the rest are acted upon? Focusing is key. Acts as a filter towards mental pollution. If you know what you're looking for, you will be alert for the information that will help you get it. If you block out what doesn't serve you and whatever you focus on, you will move towards. Everything you need is in reach. Whatever you are doing, do it magnificently. Do one thing at a time, wherever you are, and be there fully with whoever you're with. So the key is discipline your pursuits, discipline your thoughts, discipline your actions, and stay goal conscious. Keep your desired end goal front and center 24/7. And always remember, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Back to you, Bernie.
Mike, thank you so much. Much appreciated. I'm going to quickly share our screen to give you some information about Phoenix itself. Probably switch the order up on how that all rolled out this morning, but hey, keeps things spicy and alive. So we're always on a dynamic. You should see a screen showing up on or the shared screen to check it out. The PBEX, pbex.ca is the website. Come on in and visit. So if you're viewing this from home, office, wherever, you're more than welcome to come in. Hey, I'm the member of the week. I just been promoted. Woohoo! If you want to know more about me, click on my Christmas edition, I guess, because I'm looking at the background, and that's where that comes from. So, how do you get into the Phoenix meeting? So, Monday morning, you still can come on in, 8 to 9. Just click this red bar right here, the top one. Wednesday and Thursday mornings, there are separate bars. Click them and come on in. Those are Zoom links, so bring you right in. April 2nd, we have a monthly meeting, and it's in the evening, 7 p.m. It's about goal setting. All Phoenix members are welcome to show up there as well. You know, if you want to come in and check things out, because that's where you have time. We have the East Trade Winds that's happening on Tuesday at 8 a.m. That's tomorrow. Mix and Mingle on March 26th, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. You got an iPhone seminar with Norm Boye. So it's an in-person session. Click on it, follow the instructions. It's about understanding all the different attributes of the iPhone. And one of his young lads works in that space. Penny Lee's got you. She's got you shaking your body and moving things around, so that'll keep you live and lively, and that's kind of important, especially if you've been indoors a lot. Tony's got a Feng Shui class on March 30th, part one. I almost thought it was March 1st. And I'm going, oh, that's not going to be very Feng Shui, but it is. So March 30th. So where to put things in your house and yourself to keep your life upright and up, not uptight, but upright and just running smooth. QR directory for all Phoenix members. You click on that, you'll find all the different members that are a part of the Phoenix area. And if you're looking for something like a mortgage broker by Jacqueline, or you're looking for a printer by Emma, or you're looking for someone to count all those coins, Eric, or your tax man, or coach, Mike, or house, Lana. I'm not going around here well enough. I'm going to let you guys do that intro in a very, very short little while. Top books to read. And so what do we got going for stats? So year-to-date stats, $38,025 worth of referrals. That's between members alone, year-to-date. That's over $4.6 million worth of business since 2016. E-cards, those little, you see little QR codes? What's happening in that space is you can connect with somebody. You can share your contact details. Makes it less frictional. What does that mean? It means someone can go boom, and then they can connect with you. It'll have all your information. Plus, you'll have your YouTube content. So if you have a short video information, You can share information, and you can export it over to other people too. So 1,869 clients have been, people have been pressing those little buttons or scanning those QR codes. That's a good thing. We've had over 145 BAMs year to date. What does that mean? And what is a BAM? Well, that's not a hit over the head. That's where you're having a chat with somebody. And usually you're having a chat with another member in the Phoenix group. And why is that important? Well, you know what? We get to understand each other better. And we understand, and why we have more than one BAM is we end up sharing, what's happening now. So what we're looking for, what we can offer. Those are two different boxes, right? And so it's always good to know and stay ahead of the game on that space. And what else we going to do? Oh, I'm just going to share a link to the live post so you can get into LinkedIn Live. Put your contact details in the LinkedIn Live. That way you can share that information. If someone from the outside universe wants to connect with you, because you speak, you're resonating with them, they can connect with you. And we're going to do a round robin of, hey, what do I do? Where am I at? What BAMs and referrals I've had over the week? And we're going to start off with, we're going to go to Lana, then we're going to go to Eric. And Lana, over to you.
Good morning. Lana Burnley. I am a residential realtor and have been a residential realtor in the past 20 years in the Ottawa or Eastern Ontario region. Multiple offers. Guess what, guys? We are now feeling the pent-up buyer demand that happened from 2023. It's now rolling over into 2024. We're having multiple buyers for good listings, for good houses that are for sale. And I've seen 3 of them over the past weekend just on by its own. So it's important to get good representation and to have direction when you're dealing with buying a home at this time of year with these current interest rates and with what you are buying, especially homes in around the $600,000 mark or less, because that's about the average sale price. In the $1 million range, you're good to go. But if you're looking at what the average person is looking at, especially first-time buyers, I highly recommend you get yourself a good realtor with lots of knowledge so that you can deal with these multiple offer situations already. Lana Burnley, your residential realtor here in the Eastern Ontario region.
Any BAMs or referrals, Lana? Okay, sorry. And we're going to swing over to Eric and then Jacqueline. Eric, over to you, sir.
The sound seems to be working or not working. Is it working?
You are working because we can hear you.
Okay, good morning. Eric Sonego from the accounting firm of Eric Sonego Professional Group, known mostly as ESPG. We are accountants and management consultants. We're located in Canada, and I will post everything in the chat line about us, including the digital card. We had pretty up and turvy week last week. A client that we saw the week before on Tuesday died on Monday of the following week, and he was a close member of the client group. He was a family member of my daughter. And we were tied up with that most of the week, and we will be tied up with some of that this week. And I just came to the office this morning, and a fellow that I played soccer with up until a year ago, that I haven't seen him in a year, died this last week. So it just tells me that we are here on borrowed time, and we have to make the best of it. So I didn't do any BAMs last week, and I was not in any position or mental state to do any BAMs last week, and I hope that I can call a few people this week, that I'm getting back into the swing. Have a good week.
Eric, our condolences, and sorry that you're going through that. Jacqueline and then Mike.
Good morning, everyone. And with my beautiful deep breath, take a long, deep breath Lift your shoulders, take them back and drop them down, and know that doing a renewal shouldn't be all that difficult. Doing a refinance shouldn't be all that difficult. Doing some thinking about debt consolidation shouldn't be that difficult. And it's not when you have a conversation with a mortgage specialist. So when you're looking for mortgage strategies for your mortgage money, take a long, deep breath, lift your shoulders, take them back, and call the mortgage honey.
Jacqueline, thank you so much. Any BAMs referrals in the last week or so?
Uh, uh, no.
Okay. Mike, and then Ema.
Great. Thank you, Bernie. Good morning. Mike Velosky here with MW Motivational Life Coaching. So with over 300 hours of formal coach training by a master coach at that level and receiving many testimonials, I created ironclad coaching approaches to help coaching individuals to surpass their understanding that they have of themselves. And I do this in two ways. There's two choices, two approaches. First is it's a 5 module, 6-week full stride mentoring and coaching course, and it grounds individuals on what is essential in their life so desired change can occur from that point. And the second is also offered just the standard pure coaching, so no mentoring involved, just coaching session by session on what individuals need to discuss specifically on that day or that week that they're carving out their lives. So today, a good referral are individuals that you know that wish to notch up their game for their well-being. And always keep in mind, I'll put the contact information in the chat, and your mind is greater than the problem. Thank you.
And Mike, anything about the golf tournament you want to just highlight?
Not yet, because so we have a BAM. I have a BAM this week with Tony and Bernie to finalize the golf tournament, and all that information will come out on a weekly basis. Also, going to set up a BAM with Lana. Had a chat with Norm Boyer about replacing some glass.
Excellent, thank you. Ema, then Shane. Ema, over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. My name is Ema, and I am a commercial photographer. I looking for businesses and business owners, or executives that are looking to photograph themselves or photograph their product or their services, and then use those photographs to create their marketing collateral, which is either flyers or business cards, or all the way to outdoor signs. I also have a printing company, and we do from photographs all the way to large format printing on coroplast or wood lamination and that type of stuff. And beside that, I had a BAM with Jacqueline, which she doesn't remember. We're doing her business cards. And we also did I did a BAM with you, Bernie, and Tony last week. And I really would like to talk to you guys about the golf tournament. I would like to see if we can do something, if I can collaborate with you guys. That's it for me for now.
Ema, thank you so much. But of course, the answer is yes, but of course. Shane, and then Tony. Shane, over to you.
Can't hear you.
It's the quietest your house has been in a long time, bud.
Because I still had you muted. It's better that way. Anyways, I'm trying to put this sideways thing for Tony, because he always tells me to remind me and I never remember. So here we are, sideways Shane here. I'm for Pro Action Health and Performance. Hope everything's going well for people. I guess one thing I just want to tell people about is just basically when you're trying to get back to health, when we're sick and stuff, we usually lay in bed, kind of regain our energy. We don't do too much. But when we're in real life, we have the aches and pains in the back. So sometimes people have like a disc injury or whatever, and they try to work through it. They try to go to work. They try to still sit. They try to still do a lot of the stuff they do. They just don't do any exercise, which is kind of the wrong thing. We do a little bit of exercise and we unload, right? So if I have a back injury and it's increased with sitting, I don't sit a lot. I lay down. I stand up more. And I only sit or whatever for those aggravating times for about 20 minutes, and I get up and I move around. So I had one patient come in and she was working at the bank. And so she was always sitting and trying to do this and bending down and getting things. And I'm like, you can't be doing that. So now that we've changed her around from doing that loading of the back, she's doing a whole lot better because now she's able to heal and we're not kind of digging holes, right? We don't work out our legs every single day. We work out one day and we let them rest and do that type of thing. So now my treatments are holding better and she's actually being more stronger, being more flexible, and you'll get her back onto the right road so that she can actually do the things that she wants to do. So remember that, guys. Unload. Don't get rid of exercise totally, but do some, walking and even some pool work. It's really helpful. I hope that helps you guys in your road to recovery. I'm Dr. Shane Bayless, for Action Health and Performance. We get results.
Shane, thank you so much. Tony, over to you, good sir.
Okay, thank you, Bernie. I also want to play Dwight and Alex's infomercial, so I will do that now. They've changed Zoom a little bit, so I'm just getting my way through here. I think I got it. Let's see if hope this works.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Bernie. eVolta Electric, we are, well, first of all, I'm Alex from eVolta Electric. We are Ottawa's low-carbon electrical contracting organization. So we focus on EV charging solutions for people's homes, for residential applications, for commercial applications as well. Multi-unit residential is a big part of what we do also. Energy storage solutions, where we put big energy batteries on the sides of buildings so you can use the power in the event of a power outage. Building automation, LED lighting, and of course, general electrical work. So if you need an electrical contracting company with a focus on sustainability, please give us a call. Thank you.
From Tasty Light Catering. We specialize in creating vegan Caribbean foods. We've been doing this now for the past 7+ years, and we've been doing I guess a good job because we've been at the market this past year, and we're just getting ready to kick off the 2024 season this coming, or 2 weeks from now, March 9th, and we'll be back at the market Lansdowne every 2 weeks. Just creating additional or new and improved meals for everyone, and just making sure everyone enjoy it on a consistent basis. Last week we were out at PBX Mix and Mingle, catering for the evening, and we had a meeting also with, well, not a meeting, but a touch base with Ima. She's looking to create some branding for us and get us on the road for 2024. So we've been pretty busy back at it, coming off the 3 weeks at Trinidad and Tobago. It was a culture shock, like Eric, coming back to this weather. So we're just trying to get back into the swing of everything. And so far it's been pretty busy moving forward. So that's it.
Just to add to that, what indicated that there are at the Aberdeen Pavilion, Lansdowne Park, free admission, 150 vendors for March 23rd between 10 and 4 at the 613 Flea Market. They're now offering a new addition to their patties: chickpeas, potatoes, and spinach. So if that entices you, there it is. And yes, it is vegetarian, so I'm sure that Dwight will make that taste like it's the real thing, and it is the real thing. And over to you, Tony.
Thank you, Bernie. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I love doing what I do because it has very fast benefits as soon as we implement it. One of the things that I'm really geared up about and getting prepared for is my feng shui class coming up at the end of the month. And just to give you a little snippet of what we will be talking about among hundreds of things that are in your home, is that there's a money section. And I know everybody likes to talk about their money and their honey. Hey, Jacqueline? And there is a money section in your home. And years ago, I remember going to a client, and they had an old radio. This probably dates back in the 40s, 1940. Got it from their grandfather. And this radio wasn't working. And, we were discussing the various things that aren't working in their money. and this radio was not working. And so we started to discuss that everything is representational. Everything has your energy in it. Everything has to have a place. It has to be something that is functional. So if you have a radio that's not working in a money section, what would your bank account look like? All kinds of bank charges that you didn't expect. You go in for work on your car. They said it'd be $500 to fix, and then you come out, it's $1,200. It's stuff like that. And we wonder, why does those things happen to me? And it's because it's in your home. When we start looking around and you start looking at your home in a different set of eyes, you start seeing, okay, does that mean if we move the radio into another section or get it out of there, things will start working, provided that everything is working? Same thing happens with grandfather clocks. Same things happen with aquariums that are in functioning property, or dirty aquariums is a big one. That's dirty money. And what does that look like? In the sense that it's not working right. You start getting all kinds of expenses that are just weird. This opens things up to scams. You're more liable to attract those things just because you let those things in those areas sort of exist. So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about in the Feng Shui class. I am doing a workshop on the 27th, and we're going to talk about the 5 elements, the fire, wood, water thing, and how that approach can also lead to various things in your home that you can understand and start changing. And so if you want to know more information about the class, let me know. It would be a great thing to be able to walk into a home knowing that this is the home I'm not going to buy because of various reasons. It gives you another measuring tool. Tony Jenners from Higher Self, we are here to raise your spirits.
Tony, thank you so much. You just reminded me I have to clean my fish tank. Because the fish is productive. It's almost like having my wife here, except you're not. And that's okay. We're good. Just as a sidebar, just a couple of things we are looking for. Just a few people. Like if you are a auto insurance, home insurance, life insurance, those positions, those seats are available in this group right now. If you're a golf pro, house cleaner, gift basket company, swag and promotional goods. Well, we actually have some of the promotional piece covered with email because she's also a very gifted and wonderful photographer and printer. But legal services, men's and women's apparel, plumber, mobile hairdresser, all these things are kind of things that if someone is asked for within our group. So if you have anybody that fits that bill or you fit that bill, come knocking. Let us know. Reach out to Tony, myself, or Penny Lee. More than glad to have a chat and give it a quick kick the tires, so to speak, and come on in. And so what else we got on the go? Well, moi. Moi is going to say that I connect businesses. I do an introduction. I kind of do the pairings. I try to fit the right people with the right circumstance or other right businesses. Got a podcast called Knack for Business, and that talks about people's wide range of different people's journeys and the golden nuggets they can share, whether it's about their job or whether it's about their journey. Property Wizard podcast is about real estate and investment and understanding what's involved. And I read a little article on the in the news over the weekend where someone basically, it's not a scam as in you don't know who you're talking to. You know who you're talking to, but they basically got euchred in the some investors got euchred in their money. And so this Property Wizard podcast talks about how you set things up so you don't put yourself at risk, how you check things out. Right. So it's a vetting process, and you got to know who you're dealing with, much like in Phoenix, who you're dealing with because you've worked with them, you talk to them. That's why we have those BAMs. And I'm just going on a little bit too far because now we're going to have to swing over to Mr. Josh. Because Mr. Josh Lamb is our presenter. Josh, the floor is yours.
Morning, folks. I'm Josh Lamb. My company is Sterling Grace Technologies, and we're your one-stop shop for all of your IT needs. We service various businesses in Eastern Ontario, throughout Canada, and even throughout North America. And so, yeah, we'll be presenting today. First of all, I want to just apologize for the creakiness of my voice. I'm on the tail end of COVID recovery here, and it hit me particularly hard as well as the rest of my household. So I took care of my wife and my 4 kids who were very sick at first, and I thought I was going to kind of get through it without it being too rough. And then all of a sudden, I went way downhill and just had a really rough week and a half. So yeah, I'm coming back, and here I am, but again, a little creaky this morning, so bear with me. So today, what I'd like to talk to you guys about is, so we have 2 sides of our business. One of them is managed services, which is essentially technical support, systems administration, all that kind of good stuff. Anything from, I have an issue with my computer not turning on, or I don't know how to make this spreadsheet present the data in the way that I want, all the way up to my server blew up or is underwater because our office flooded and we need disaster recovery and everything in between. The other side of what we do is developing custom software solutions. And that's it comes from a place of primarily web-based. So we build integration between systems. So if you've got a website that you want to collect stuff from a form and get it into a customer relationship management software, and build some automation into, what touches go on in your sales process. We help with all that kind of stuff too, so that your customers can have a uniform, unique, and consistently good experience both throughout their lead nurturing phase before they're a customer, and then their onboarding when they are a customer. And then we also automate throughout business process. So that's what I'll be talking and focusing most on. I see a chat mentioned there. We do hosting. We don't really have a huge SEO program. We have a partner that we work with that does that. But we also do a bit of blogging and that kind of stuff too. And so I guess it depends on what your content strategy looks like, because most SEO strategies, they focus on generating additional content to keep you relevant. That's probably one of the most important parts of keeping you relevant on Google. So I guess kind of, and if you need SEO, we can talk to you about your strategy and either handle some stuff in-house or refer you to our partner that does it a more kind of comprehensive. So yeah, without too much further chatting here, I'm gonna share my screen and look at, here we go. Everybody see my
You're up and running.
My clouds. We make tech that makes you money. So yeah, that's our old logo. Actually, we did a branding revamp, but it's all good. So what's our process look like? Well, it depends on your appetite for project, I guess, for the budget, what kind of investment you're looking to make. And so we have anything from kind of a T&M, time and materials engagement, where we work kind of just in real time doing small jobs here and there for you, all the way up to a more comprehensive engagement where we have kind of a formal software development process. So this Dogbert's tech support. We don't need you or your customers to take powerful antidepressants, because we try to work with you to build a process that works for you and for your customers, that's intuitive. This is a little bit about what I had already introduced. So what our approach looks like in our larger software projects is usually we start with a road mapping phase, which is a paid engagement of discovery. It's kind of analogous to in a construction project, you get your engineer in to do your planning, to do your drawings, to do your recommendations of all of the different materials you're going to need. Excuse me. Excuse me again. It usually results in a rather large report that has a scope, it has timelines, it has estimates on it. and gives you kind of an idea of all the different technologies that you'll need to use. The great thing about the roadmap is you can take that then to any software development company. So it's kind of a standalone project. It's the plan, the blueprint. And so it gives you a really good idea how much things are going to cost and what things are going to be needed, as well as how long it's going to take. Then we get into these little 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 loops, which are essentially mini projects where we take things off your roadmap and we go through them one at a time. We have a meeting at the beginning. We do planning to make sure that we prioritize the thing that's most important to getting you value, to getting you money quick. And then we go through development. We deliver as early as possible. So usually that looks like after 3 or 4 rounds of this, if you've got a piece of software you're looking to write with a user interface, we'll have our initial launch, and then we'll continue in these 2-week cycles to add new functionality to it. But the point of continuous delivery is that you can start using it after about that 6-week mark and getting value from it. Start using it to get more customers or manage your customers through your life cycle. And then at any point, you can exit the loop once you've gotten enough value out of it, or there's kind of this ongoing maintenance, monitoring, and support as well that happens even while you're going around the loop. So analysis, road mapping, this is more of a discussion on the same. Our development, that minimum viable product is what we aim for as soon as possible. That's the minimum thing that you can use, and that will give you quick return on investment. So a couple examples of projects that we've worked on. So this is Roster Track. Essentially, it's a mobile interface that functions as registration for sports leagues. It also functions as a registration tool and management tool for course providers. Our biggest client that's using it right now is the Canadian Physiotherapy Association. One of their divisions is the animal rehab division that's working with canines and equine horses in order to rehabilitate them after injuries. And so they have a number of courses that they run through this system. This particular case study is about a football club. There's a module in Roster for tracking equipment. A lot of these nonprofit sports leagues have no good system in place for this, and it's very chaotic. And so we came into one example organization that had an annual replacement budget of over almost $22,000. And so when we ended up inventorying all their equipment, and then they had a simple barcode scanner thing that they could use when their players walked out, and it would give the players an email at the end of the season saying, this is what you have, this is a replacement value, and you'll get a bill for that unless you bring it back. And we had essentially 100% return after that year. And so this is, the kind of processes we can look at. Roster is it's looking a little aged here, but it's still a good software. It's got a pretty powerful query builder where you can add any of the fields from these custom forms that you can build through drag and drop, and you can sort them as you like. You can add whatever fields you like, and then essentially you can subscribe to them and get them emailed to you as reports. It also has interaction with PayPal and e-transfers. And so you can basically track their financials as well and get them to pay online. And it integrates with QuickBooks and Simply Accounting, Sage, Sage 50, that kind of stuff, or it can dump to Excel if you just track your books in Excel. Another product that we've worked on is My US Address. So this is essentially, if you have a product in the United States that doesn't ship to Canada, you can get it shipped to your My US Address box in Ogdensburg, New York, and then you can either go down there and you can claim it, and we have a very automated system down there for that. You essentially get emailed a PDF that you print off. It has a barcode on it. When they scan your barcode, they know exactly where in the warehouse all your stuff is. Their warehouse receiving system, when a package comes in your name, it knows if you already have inventory, and it will route the storage of that package with your other packages, which means that instead of having to wait a long time for them to jump all over the warehouse to find all your stuff, they just go to exactly where all your stuff is in a single place in the warehouse. The other thing that MyUS can do, it integrates with Canada Customs. as well as Canada Post and UPS, and a couple other services for shipping. And so you can actually get it brokered across the border in what's called a push it north service, and then delivered last mile shipping to your home. So where it didn't ship before to Canada, you can get it shipped to Canada through this service. This is what it looks like. It's mobile friendly. When you're going through the process of bringing it north so that you can get it shipped to your door, there's a process where you can pick which packages you want moved north, and then go through a process where you give it the information that it needs so that it can clear for customs for you. So that's that. This is a different software for managing certifications. So basically, this is created for businesses that need to certify to their customers that the crews that are going on site have certain certifications, qualifications, and that it also helps them manage them. So, you know, there's a couple there's skills of a doctor and a mentalist here, which is just kind of a dummy test thing. But a better example would be WMIS certifications for people who have to work with chemicals on site. And so this system keeps track of and sends inventories for all of the staff in an organization, what their certifications are, when they're renewing, what the costs are to get them renewed, so that they can budget for training and that kind of stuff. As well as it can create reports certifying that the crews that are going on site to the customer's location, they are up to date in all of their certifications for the benefit of the customer of the company that's using CertHub. This is RoadSmart. RoadSmart is a logistics analytics platform. It's used for trucking companies. Basically, it allows them to manage things. Excuse me, it allows them to manage their payroll for their drivers. And it kind of gives you some nice metrics for how much they're spending over time, total miles traveled by division. So this one has the open top bed van style trucks, flat style trucks, as well as vans, which are the closed top ones that we're familiar with on the highway as well. And it gives you a series of analytics. You enter all of the different trips that you travel. It has integration with some other systems that also manage those trips, and then it can determine the total profitability of every trip that a truck takes. And so this is kind of I've cropped it a little bit here, but it just shows you there's a data input entry here that's kind of like a Excel file. When you enter point A to point B, the origins and destinations, it automatically looks up the miles. It has integration with a mileage calculator tool that's used for trucking companies, kind of similar to what Google Maps gives you when you do your directions. And so, yeah, so they have forms like this that they fill out for each individual trip, and then it gives them profitability analysis. And I think that's the next slide. Yeah, so they can see a history of their trips and search for them, filter them by driver, trailer, location, all that kind of stuff. I guess they don't have the analytics. Maybe that's proprietary. But yeah, there's also a series of reporting where it shows you what the profitability is, and you can set profit targets, and then the system will actually help you plan to make sure that you're profitable. So it'll say, okay, you need this rate per mile quoted to the customer in order to make sure that you make this target profitability on average on all of your trips for the next quarter. So yeah, I'm going to kind of jump here a little bit. And I don't know how much time I got left here, Tony. I don't see the timer on your background there.
Another 5 minutes.
Yeah, about 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm going faster than I thought. So here's a little project that we worked on recently. Tony's kind of familiar with. So we didn't develop this from scratch. This was actually another Phoenix member built this tool. It is a Phoenix program that sends the text messages out that you all receive prior to our meetings. And so originally it came with a members list inventory and a option to send SMS messages to each individual chapter. So we cleaned this up a little bit, but one of the things that we added to it was the ability to schedule. Didn't have this before, where you could, when you're creating a text message, so I want to send myself a text message here. Yes, you could used to be able to just send immediately. So Tony on Sundays before the Monday meeting would always have to be ready to remember that he had to send out a text message to everybody. And there was no pre-scheduling. So we added this send later functionality that would actually schedule them to send at a future date. And then you can schedule the message. And then you have this big calendar where you can look at what's scheduled when. You can edit recipients, you can add recipients, you can edit the content, you can cancel it, and then you can see what was sent when. And so we've got this kind of nice looking calendar. This is the test message I just created here. You can see it's got me in a status of pending. It hasn't sent it yet. I can change my message. So I've rescheduled that, and now it will have test 1 instead of test.
What?
Out. Sorry, interruption crew. When you got 4 kids, one of them will be in all places at all times. I think Shane knows a little bit about that. Yeah, so gives you kind of a bird's eye view of the history of, so the greens are the ones that everything got sent out successfully. This red one here was when Tony scheduled and then canceled. They also appear orange when some people failed to receive, but others were sent. And here's the messages that we sent out, that were sent out this morning. We got this one earlier today. It has kind of a comprehensive log from the back-end text messaging system, so we can troubleshoot. That gets cleared out eventually. And you can see here's Bernie's message where it logs that it succeeded. You can resend it with a different recipient list if you wanted to, so you can add new recipients and schedule it as a new send. And so we can help you with pre-existing software as well. And so this was just a kind of a small little project that we did with Tony. We did some security updates to it too. It used to have a couple kind of bad little security vulnerabilities, and we analyzed all of those and we fixed them up. And so, yeah, that's kind of thing that we can work on as well. So getting back to the presentation, got the logos of a couple different software solutions that we are able to work with. So Twilio is a text messaging backend that is actually what powers the Phoenix Group application I just showed you in the back. And so we write integration with Twilio. So you get that nice form at the front end, and then it talks to Twilio at the back end. And Twilio is the one that manages the whole text messaging infrastructure, all the phone stuff. And they're a big company. They're utilized by a lot of big names. Walmart is one of the biggest ones. And so they're a major player in phone system automation, in voice automation, in text messaging automation. And there's a lot of things that you can do that are pretty cool with it, including kind of interactivity. So it's not just sending out text messages. You can provide people with choices and get them to reply to you, and then have that information become available to you as a business so that you can know how your customers reacted to a survey or to that kind of thing, or have it set up so that it confirms that they own a phone number that they just gave you, or confirm that they just placed an order with their Visa. Iceberg is a platform there's a lot going on there. It basically automates interactions with old software. So it runs a desktop kind of like an actual user would, and runs a mouse and a keyboard, and will interact with your ancient software that doesn't have any other way to be automated or tie into things. And so, yeah, there's a lot of neat things you can do with that. Alfresco is a document infrastructure system. Basically, it lets you take scanned documents, inventory them, OCR them, which means converting any scanned images into readable text that can also be searched, indexes them so that you can search them really, really fast, and we can tie additional automation to it. And so we have a couple customers that use Alfresco to store their documents, and it does all that magic. And then we can tie it to specific orders so that documentation that gets scanned by their staff automatically becomes visible to their customers through their web interface. And it'll show them, here's your backing invoice, here's your backing loading slip, that kind of stuff. DigitalOcean is a virtualization platform. It's basically if you want a server but you don't want to have it in your office, you can get it in the cloud instead. That's kind of what DigitalOcean is. It's a cloud services provider. What else we got? We do a lot of work with integration with QuickBooks and PayPal. Moneris is another solution that's also a payment card processor, and then barcode scanners. We do stuff with QR codes too. I'm not sure if that's going to be in here. We build websites with WordPress, which is one of the leading industry content management systems. So once your website is built in WordPress, you don't need to know how to code. You just log into a thing and you can add new things to your site through a simple editor that looks a lot like Microsoft Word. DigitalOcean, again, because I guess we love it that much. MediaWiki is the same backbone as Wikipedia. So if you want to have a electronic standard operating procedure index for your business. So we're talking about an operations manual that's searchable, editable, has version control built into it, and is visible to anyone who needs it anywhere, with security built in. So it's not necessarily everyone, but anyone you want to access it. You can have your own wiki, just kind of like Wikipedia. And then SparkPost is an email moderation and management platform for sending out automatic emails. I think it went back there. There we go. So if you've got an IT problem, choose Sterling Grace. We know how to take your complicated, expensive tech problem and turn it into a tech opportunity to make some money. Ask us how we can help your company excel. And that is it. So I guess if anybody has any questions, we can go into that.
I have a question, Josh. Hi.
Yeah.
Do you guys build funnels as well?
So we work with a sales CRM platform called Suite CRM. And so we can help you with that kind of thing. Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, we tend to do more of the nitty gritty, low level stuff. But we can facilitate that. Yes.
Good, Mike.
Thank you.
Josh, thanks for pushing through with you recovering with COVID. It's very well done. Do you support companies when you build their plan with a social media and an automatic social media campaign?
Not really. So we're not really involved in marketing in a huge way. So typically what will happen is if you have a marketing company that is able to do your graphic design and that kind of stuff, able to do your social media, that kind of stuff, and you want to integrate it with another system. So you want to make it so that you have like a centralized system where you can post everything from there. We would help you with building the software that would get you there, and then we would refer you off to a partner that deals with the actual planning of the social media campaigns and that kind of stuff. So again, it's kind of a similar answer to the funnel process. If you have a funnel you've already envisioned, we will help you automate it, but we don't do the strategy around building it. We're not a sales and marketing company. We're an automation company, really. And so, yeah.
So I have another question.
Sure.
What about the training after you build the software for whatever company? do you guys
Yeah.
do the training of the software as well, or the part or the company takes over on the training software?
So we do offer training. Usually most of our depending on the type of offering. So when we're building a website, usually we have baked in like a 4-hour training session that's part of the base contract. And then we can re-up periodically if you have new staff come on board that need additional training. And so, yeah, there's like a 4-hour training block, which you could split into 2 2-hour sessions and then have as many of your staff attend that be over Zoom. And then if you're building custom software, essentially every time there's a release, which is again after those 2-week cycles of iterations, the 2, 3, 4 step thing, then we do a part of the project management meeting and the deployment, the continuous deployment is a training phase where, okay, you've got person X needs to know how to do this. And so we'll have a session with them to show them this is the new feature. This is how you run it. And so, yeah. And then we also have, you know, on our IT managed services side, we have training there as well for, you know, using Office 365. You know, you've got a new server and you need to know how to get into it, that kind of stuff. And we provide documentation for the same. So
I sent you a couple of messages there.
yeah.
Okay.
Nice. I'll check it out and see if I can see after we're done our presentation then.
Josh, thank you so much. That was, yeah, every time you open up the box, Pandora's gives us a bit more, and it's, you know, you be gatekeeping, so it isn't you know, for us mere mortals, it would provide us a little bit of headache and no charm. You provide the charm in that space, so that, you know, thank you. Are there any other questions for Josh? Sorry, are there any other questions for Josh? Okay, so we'll just close off for the quote for the day. And again, Josh, appreciate that. It's always fascinating to hear what you got to say, because I always end up learning something new. So the quote goes, "No loss should be more regrettable to us than losing our time, for it's irretrievable." That's Zeno of Citium.